for the transportation-oriented plan through the RAISE program, and that's going to be added to the consent agenda as item 3G.
This item 3F.
It should be 3F. 3F.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else anybody would like to add or delete? So with the two amendments, all in favor of approving the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And we do have Dan. Dan, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
His volume may be down.
He can hear us. Okay.
Yeah, we'll use the thumbs up approach. So, next item is approval of the consent agenda.
Move.
Moved and seconded. Is there anything anybody would like to highlight in here?
There should be a correction on the minutes. Line 511. In the board member concerns, I brought up that I met with Nan and Karen and Alden. I mentioned that we have invited them to have some vendors at the Thursday as an experiment, but the market doesn't start until May 21st. And here it says that market vendors will be at the market this Thursday, which is not correct.
Okay.
Market starts in May.
May 19th.
May 19th?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
There were signs up for the farmer's market. Oh, Saturday market. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, this is the VMP's
Right.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Esther,
I just have to abstain from the
the minutes?
minutes, yeah.
Okay.
And I just thought people should see the, if you haven't paid attention to the connectivity study that's being done with Boardman, between Boardman and Hannaford. It's very early days, but, you know, the effort to make it more walkable or bikeable from Boardman to the Hannaford Plaza. I
And
think it
that's
fits in
the
with,
town manager's report?
Yep.
Yes. And of note, Ross is here and has agreed to serve another term on Maple Broadband Governing Board, and appointment of his as a delegate, and Hugh McLaughlin as the alternate is in the consent agenda. So anything else? Hearing nothing else, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Dan?
He's got two devices going. It's interesting.
Sorry, I got on the other one's making-
I think he's in favor.
I think he's fair. Citizen comments. Is there anyone who's here? Yes, Eugene.
Andrew would be here, but he's in England. Did you know
He's traveling. He'll be back on the 20th. Right?
that? Right, when they talk about the tax.
Okay, we're not there yet.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Come on forward, Kevin. We have you in the citizens' comments.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Ryan. Kevin Paraiso from Seymour Street. And I had sent all of you an email back in March regarding the problem that is surfacing on Seymour Street, and that is the open ditches that go along at least a huge chunk of that road. And Heather has been very kind to invite me Thursday morning to speak to the infrastructure committee about this. And so we have to do it. And I have to do it very quickly because unfortunately I also have a funeral to be the organist for. So we're going to time this as closely as we can, but I thank you for your kindness. The basic problem is that those open ditches are not functioning anymore. And Dan Werner, I don't know if Dan emailed all of you with the same answer that he sent to me, but we're talking since 2002, nothing has really happened. The culverts that are in under the driveways, for the most part, are plugged, cracked, broken. The on each of the where the driveways are, whatever they call, I think they're called head walls or something to that effect. Those are collapsing. The stones that were put in there are no longer functioning, the rocks, because dirt, silt, everything else has filtered back in there, and they're plugging. And this year, especially when we had the initial drainage and melting and all of this, many of the ditches were at the top and then running back over and running over the sidewalk. My fear was that potentially they could go in people's cellars. And so I just wanted to bring it to the attention of the board, as well as to Heather and the infrastructure, that I'd love to see that somehow we put this item back on a topic that we can seriously address, since so much of Seymour Street was never finished. 2002, as Dan's memo to you, it was, they did what they could. Unfortunately, at that particular time, funding was underfunded. And, we all know that these projects cost money, but unfortunately, I think the system has worn out. So my intent was to simply bring it to all of your attention, but I'd love to see us be able to do something. So I thank you for your thought and consideration on it. And again, Heather, publicly, thank you. I will be at your meeting Thursday morning. And,
You can come anytime. Even if I say no, you can still come.
okay. Well, having sat on this board for, I don't remember how many years, Kathleen probably has a record of that, but I think it was from the time of Horatio Seymour, but anyways, seems good to be sort of back.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation on Thursday and infrastructure, and then we'll go from there and
Okay.
see
Okay.
what we can do.
I think it's in front of the right committee to get things looked
Okay.
at, though. So
All right. Very good.
thanks for bringing it to our attention, Kevin.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Have a good evening.
You too. Is there anybody else, something that is not on the agenda? Can't tell if we have people dialed in, Kathleen, or?
And this is our list I don't see any
No,
hands
wait.
up.
Okay, then we're going to move on. So next is nominations to appointed boards, committees, commissions, and official positions. And in our packet, the board has got a number of candidates for town panels and officer positions with vacancies for 2022. They're all nicely color-coded. Thank you, assume Kathleen. And that was, it made it easy to see where there was decisions that we would need to be making. In past years, we traditionally nominate all candidates in this meeting, and then when we come back in the next meeting, April 26th, we would then confirm the actual appointments to the positions. I see some candidates here. Is there anybody who would like to say something to the board? And this, we haven't gotten to yours yet, Eugene, so. Is there any questions or anything that the board would like to address on this?
I'm just curious about the process. Why do we spread this across 2 meetings?
It's a state statute because of its section is 24 VSA section 127-308, and because it's a select board appointment to a particular position. So some positions we like. On the one that we're going to address with Eugene this evening, we can actually act on it in the same meeting.
Okay.
So, and I'm not I'm not knowledgeable enough to be articulate about why the difference with it is, depending upon how it's classified.
Generally, it's for appointments that are required by state statute, like the Planning Commission, Conservation Commission required by state statutes. Local representatives aren't required by state statutes, so we can appoint them directly.
Okay.
Or the board can appoint them directly.
And that's why we're able to do Ross and Hugh.
Sure.
And so,
Huh.
yeah.
Is that an owl turning on?
So the owl is only looking at me, and people can't hear us in the audience, and I think that,
Dan's happier now.
Dan, sounds like Dan can hear you now.
okay.
Oh, good.
Judy, can you hear us now that the owl is functioning?
Well, we can't hear Dan.
I think that's his end.
Can't hear you, Dan. Can you hear me, Dan?
I'm just promoting Judy. She had her hand up.
Okay. You had your hand up, sir.
I just want to introduce myself.
Sure. Please come forward here.
Yeah, my name's Dick Bemis. New to town, but I'd be interested in putting my skills to work to help the town out in this infrastructure committee. Although I have no infrastructure experience, I'm a retired engineer, but I've had a lot of project management responsibilities. So
Really?
I assume that the infrastructure committee is made up of many projects. Now, I would like to go to the meeting on the 12th, or the
14th,
14th,
Thursday
to
morning.
learn more about it.
That would be great.
Okay.
That's great. Welcome. Where are you coming from, Dick?
Maryland.
Maryland.
Nice.
And what made you choose Middlebury, Vermont?
Daughter and family living in Cornwall.
Nice.
Wow.
That'll do it.
Welcome by the community.
Plus we came up here for a vacation for a month, intending to go back, but we bought a lot before we went back.
Welcome.
So,
What kind of engineer were you, Dick?
chemical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Blow things up?
yeah, blow things up.
I did 30 years in the Army, so
Oh, okay.
only chemicals that we played with all exploded. So.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the community.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for introducing yourself. Please.
If we're here, do you want us to introduce?
Absolutely.
Sure.
If you made the effort to come here, you should introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Reeves. I'm interested in the DRB. I live up on Washington Street Extension, have interacted with the DRB over the last year and realize how important a board that is. Also, I'm a social worker and am interested in the intersection of development and vulnerable populations in our community, and wanting to make sure that those needs are addressed in a way that both meets those needs, but also keeps the rural quality and all the small New England village quality of our town at the same time. So
Yeah.
I think I can bring some perspective to that.
That's great. I don't know if you have read or heard about the efforts to produce some additional housing in the community, so the DRB could be very engaged for a while.
And that's
So,
something I'm very interested in. So
all right. Well, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How you
So-
doing?
Hi, good to see you. So I'm Mike Rugg. For those of you who don't know me, I work at the college. I'm very interested in joining the Energy Committee. Some of you may have seen I wrote a piece in the Addison Independent recently that was critical of the town, and I figured once you criticize something, you should then become part of the solution. So I'm thinking that climate change is probably the most important thing that we face for the next 20 years, and think that at all levels of government, we really need to be thinking about how we all work together to make the changes that we need to make. So I'd love to be part of the group in the town that's kind of thinking about how does that work in the town of Middlebury and how's that work in Addison County and at the state and federal level. So anyway, just wanted to. put
Mike,
that
I
out
missed
there.
your article that was critical of the town. I like to see those. Maybe you could email it to me?
I will, sure.
That'd be
Yeah.
great. You've still got my email?
I still, yeah,
Okay.
sure thing.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Okay.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you without a mask.
I know.
And in person.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we thank those of you who made the effort to come, and it's nice for the entire board to put faces with names. It's not always that everybody's known, so,
Judy Weiger-Gross is with us.
yes. Hi, Judy.
She shows.
You're muted. Unmute. What is
Yeah.
going on with our,
Hang on,
hold
hang
one,
on,
Judy.
hold on.
We've got a problem with our speakers.
Look at the source under mute. Click those little up arrow.
Yeah.
Click that. And what is your output? In terms of the speaker. Yeah, the owl should show up as an
Yeah.
option.
Let me just, hold on, people at home.
Go into audio settings, maybe.
Because we have an owl working.
I was wondering if I should start it on my laptop.
If I was at work, I'd be on the spot here.
What is it really?
Yeah. It's nice to not be my hassle.
Ross is here. Do you
Happy
want to
Mike.
do the tag thing while we're
Nice to see you.
waiting?
A couple, huh?
I'm gonna wait.
Finish this quickly.
Sorry, I'm just trying to move it.
There's a plug coming out of the owl. It's not plugged into anything. That could be the problem, but I'm not an expert.
Sorry.
Oh. Got a couple mics on.
No.
Ross, have at it. It's a lot of power bricks. We just need to wire for 12 volt instead of 120.
Okay. Okay. Somebody else talk and see if the owl pays
Sure.
attention to you.
Can the owl pick me up over here? Maybe. This is all very interesting.
Stuck on Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not the laptop.
I don't think the
Camera?
owl, we can't
It's the
hear
owl?
them.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
It's not picking up the owls at all.
Yeah.
PCs in the business schools. Now the kids refer to me as the one.
I don't know.
All right.
No?
That's just your.
Okay.
Why don't I just hand it over? Because I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
What are we doing?
I think you're getting, whoever's gonna talk and talk into the,
The owls are definitely working video wise. It's just not, they're not muted.
okay. But they're,
If you can hear them through the
Dan,
laptop.
can you hear us now?
They can hear you.
So
The
they,
microphones are working. It's just for some
We
reason.
can't hear them.
It's not showing audio out from whatever you're putting to the owl.
I think it's laptop audio. Not owl audio.
Yeah, it's running from the laptop to the owl. The owl's a speaker.
Yeah,
The laptop does not see it. as a
Right.
I
speaker.
don't actually
right.
need.
So it's usually the mic and speaker off the laptop right now.
Hear us off from the owl.
But if it's all by itself, yeah. If the owl's plugged in, it's supposed to.
If you can hear
Yeah.
us to hear? Okay.
I think that was so
Sees
that
the camera, but
Yeah.
not the
you could hear them.
Does that mean that Brian has to do the panelists?
Oh
It's
dear.
over there.
Now we just lost it.
Now it's over.
Well, you're gonna lose. that
Oh,
from
all right.
Plugging from the owl.
Just will have this one.
I'll read the resume as well then.
Yeah, we have a little technical
You should be
difficulties,
able to
but let's
hear
see.
them
Can you,
just
if
through
you
the
can hear me
laptop.
now, let's try you speaking and see if we can hear you.
Crank your volume, Brian, on the laptop.
Try speaking to us.
Thank you.
No horse hooves for you.
Yeah. But I appreciate that.
I don't know, there's nothing, like, Brian's not plugged into anything and he can't hear them. That to me sounds like a Zoom issue. You can't, they're not muted.
They're not.
It's not being filtered through anything at this, you're not plugged into anything?
Oh,
Or
boy.
you plug into the TV
Did you,
or the owl or any of that
Just happened now.
stuff.
did you close?
Yeah.
He's plugged into
I
everything.
think, just,
Right, which is
You
probably
should
why
not
it's
at
like,
the end.
something's
Just-
not.
It could
just
be.
pull it down because
Owl,
they might be
TV,
behind
or
that
not.
screen. Just pull all the screens down.
What I would do is unplug from
minimize?
everything except internet.
Oh,
and see
the
if
little
Brian can hear.
dash you
Go on here.
Yeah, there.
Unplug everything but-
So what's the audio source right now if you, yeah.
Can Judy type her question and we can read it out?
So we got USB running to. I'm just gonna temporarily unplug something.
I got it.
Oh, we can hear you.
Now we got you.
I don't have a question.
Good.
I just wanted, I'm here just to listen. Maybe you agreed I was going to ask a question.
Is that, you think we have PTSD, Judy?
Well, yeah, and you thought I was going to cause a problem, but I'm not going to.
Never.
I just wanted to hear and to see, but I couldn't do either. That's why I was asking.
Okay,
So now I can see you and I can hear you, and thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Now I'll just hang out and I will put myself on mute and you will not hear another word from me.
Okay.
So, hey, say Brian, can you hear me now?
I hear you now, Dan.
Finally.
Okay.
Brian, I can hear them through your microphone. So if anyone else speaks, I can just, but you're only gonna hear it through the laptop.
Okay.
The audience at home can see it.
Okay, so we are discussing the nomination of candidates for the vacant and term, kind of reterming positions. Is there any other comments or questions getting back to that?
I just have a general question. Go ahead, please.
You.
Brian, as a member of the Transportation Advisory Committee, I wanted to point out that on May 6th, the Vermont Walk Bike Summit will be here in Middlebury. So that's just, I want to put a plug in for some of the great work that Mike Winslow and the staff here at the town have done to make that work at the town hall on May 6th. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure of the board on the nominations.
I'll move to enter into nomination the names of all individuals who have expressed interest in appointment in 2022 to a vacancy on a town board, commission, committee, or local office.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Oh, nice.
You should see the little methodology of rigging the speakers. Okay.
I
we're
would
gonna-
just quickly say, it's really great to see so many people step up, and it's going to make our job, I think, a little more difficult this time. But I really appreciate the number of people who have stepped up and shown interest, and it's exciting to see that we have choices. So
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm not looking forward to making choices.
They are in our packet, so if you go to the Vermont, Middlebury, Vermont website, then the select board meeting packet, and there's a list of all the names. You're welcome. So next is appointment to the Vermont Agency of Transportation's Technical Advisory Committee for the Middlebury Airport. And we discussed this at our March 22nd Select Board meeting. And the Middlebury Airport Neighborhood Association has presented a recommendation for appointment to the VTrans TAC for the board's consideration. Two candidates. Eugene is here this evening, and I think everybody met Andy. Yes, Andy was at the last meeting. So we have two nominees for one position. And looking for people's thoughts on that. Eugene has been working with us on this a little bit longer, has a little more historical knowledge. Andy he's got a lot of detailed knowledge. I think my preference is would be to have Eugene on it with Andy and more technical support to Manna, given Eugene's longer history living near the airport. But that's just my personal opinion.
What's your thoughts, Eugene?
No, thank you all to begin with. Yeah, Andy will, he's the guy that knows a lot more about stuff that I don't know about. I know the stuff that went on. I should know most of it, but I don't. I don't get into what he does. So he will be part of that too. Any questions?
Do you feel good about it?
Pardon?
Do you feel good about it? Because you said it.
Yes, I mean, Andy, if it was Andy having the position, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has that part that I don't have.
Okay.
And it's important because he finds stuff out that I know what really went on, but then there's stuff on the paperwork, and that's the part that I don't do. So, but if we're both working together and if the board is all right with that, then all right, we do have one vote, but, one seat, but it'll be not two of us sitting in the same seat, but he'll be feeding us information.
Have you worked with him before?
He's fairly new here.
Okay.
He just moved in, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Andy?
Last year.
About a year.
Oh, about a year.
Yeah.
And I've been at the backside of the airport for getting close to 45, 48 years. So I've seen a lot. I know the history of the area.
I can imagine. I mean, a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, right. I was one of the first houses built down through there.
Okay.
But anyway.
Is it possible to have one of them as a primary and the Andy as an alternate, or?
No.
No?
No, we're appointing one person to the TAC. I mean, we fought to get one person on there, and then we have to nominate somebody from the town.
Yeah.
And I did talk to Nick. We have our position is the planner's position, but as you know, Jen is very busy with redoing all of the zoning and everything. And where Nick is an engineer and has experience on the select board, I'm going to recommend that we appoint Nick to fill that role. He's willing, he's offered to serve where we need him, and we gave him a couple months off, so.
Will he be able to make enough of the meetings given his travel schedule?
The TAC is scheduled to have probably 2 more meetings.
Okay.
They'll be reviewing the draft of it's a plan.
Right.
You know, so they'll be reviewing the draft, making comments, and then reviewing the final draft before it gets presented to the board.
And that's going to the master plan, right?
That's the master plan.
Right. I'll make a motion.
If you don't have any questions, the pleasure of the board.
So I'll move to appoint Eugene Roy as the representative from Middlebury Airport Neighborhood Association to the Vermont Agency of Transportation's Technical Advisory Committee for Middlebury Airport.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Are there any other comments or questions? Yes, Judy. You're muted, Judy.
Sorry,
It's all right.
sorry. Whew, this is so complicated. So if, Andy Sambrook, is he not allowed to attend the meeting?
My guess is that these meetings are virtual. So I don't see, because they're going to be plowing through paperwork, I think that they distribute and discuss. So I don't foresee that it's 10 guys sitting around like a select board meeting.
Okay, so if Andy was present to provide,
My expectation, I met with Eugene and Prem, and my expectation is that he would be looking at the same stuff as Eugene, but it would be, Eugene would be the one who would make comments and have discourse with the consultant.
okay, but having Andy there providing insight, advice would not be problematic.
Not for me. I don't.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say. Okay, thank you so much. And now I will go back to not saying anything.
Okay. So I think we still have a quorum here. So we have a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. And while we're on this topic, I would like to have, we were given 2 seats on the TAC. 1 seat is the town's, and my recommendation, and I've asked him if he'd be willing to serve because he's also passionate about aviation, and so I knew he would probably enjoy being involved if he had an opportunity. Is Nick, and so I would solicit any thoughts on that.
I think that's a great idea. I can't think of anyone more capable in this arena than Nick.
So then, if I could get a motion from the board.
I'll move to appoint Nick Ardum as the representative from the town of Middlebury to the Vermont Agency of Transportation's Technical Advisory Committee for Middlebury.
Dan, would he second?
Second.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, next, we're moving on to the annual financial plan for town highways and town roads. Thank you, Eugene.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that.
In accordance with 19 VSA Section 306A and Section 307, in order to qualify for state highway aid, the town must certify annually that it meets or exceeds minimum required spending thresholds for maintenance of its roads, just $300 per mile for each mile of Class 1, 2, and 3 highways. Dan Werner has completed the annual financial plan for town highways for the board's consideration. For FY23, maintenance expense is estimated at $3,738,423. Are there any comments?
Looks like we exceeded our $300 per mile.
It's a little gulp, right?
Yeah, it seems like we're doing okay. Yeah.
We usually take care of it.
Yeah.
I'll move to sign the annual financial plan for the town of Middlebury Highways, certifying total estimated maintenance expense for FY23 of $3,738,423.
I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay. 8 is postponed. So, next item is to consider electing to take the standard allowance approach for the town's ARPA award as specified under the U.S. Treasury's Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds final rule. This agenda item is an opportunity for the board to consider invoking a new provision found in the Treasury Department's final rule governing the use of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds that offers local governments a simplified method for calculating revenue loss attributable to the pandemic. Under the final rule, replacement of lost public sector revenue remains one of 4 eligible uses of SLFRF. What is new, however, since the issuance of Treasury's interim final rule last year is the addition of language allowing recipients to elect one of 2 options for determining revenue loss. First is a standard allowance of up to $10 million in aggregate, not to exceed the total award amount during the life of the program. The second is calculating the specific revenue loss each year using the Treasury's prescribed formula, which compares actual revenue to a counterfactual trend. SLFRF recipients that elect a standard allowance may use that amount up to the value of their full award for the provision of government services with the benefit of streamlined reporting requirements, which is a pretty big deal when you talk about staff time. Middlebury's total SLFRF award is $2,624,570.51. So we're under that $10 million cap. For the purpose of using the standard allowance, Treasury presumes that revenue loss is attributable to the pandemic, referring to sections 602C1C and 603C1C of the Social Security Act. The final rule states that SLFRF funds may be used for the provision of government services to the extent of the reduction in revenue of such government due to the COVID-19 public health emergency relative to revenues collected in the most recent full fiscal year of the government prior to the emergency. Both Treasury and the Vermont League of Cities and Towns support the use of the standard allowance since it significantly simplifies the SLFRF reporting and compliance for smaller municipalities. Municipalities must make a one-time irrevocable election to use either the revenue loss formula or the standard allowance, and we have to do it no later than April 30th. And of note, irrespective of the board's decision, we have to sign approve a couple of documents. One is the assurances of compliance with civil rights requirements, and the other is Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund Award Terms and Conditions. And that's a mouthful. There was a lot of background documents in our packet. I think this is actually something that would be really good for us. It's not like we're not going to use the funds in a productive way, but when we're talking about staff, we're getting pinched right now on staff. If you're not aware, there was some, we've seen some resignation or some retirements, not resignations. We've seen retirements coming, and anything that we can do to simplify the paperwork aspect, we still have to plan and execute these projects. It isn't going to stop us from doing that part of it, but the actual qualifying of the funding, this is really a great lifeline that they threw us small towns.
It's fantastic. I was wondering if we've looked at the revenue loss formula just to see roughly how that compares to the.
I don't think it adds up.
We had reduced expenses that pretty much matched our reduced revenues, so
I see.
that would not net a better result for us.
We were being fiscally responsible.
I don't see that the formula cares about expenses. It looks at the reduction in revenue between the baseline with growth and what we got during pandemic years. I assume that the standard is the way to go. I was just wondering if numbers have been crunched.
4% of $11 million would be what, 440,000.
Yeah, even over a couple of years, it doesn't add up to the standard. Yeah, great. Standard deduction it is.
So just one question that I still am not sure is clear in my mind. We can do the standard deduction and we can still use it for one of the 4 types of allowed. So it doesn't mean we have to use it all completely for revenue replacement.
No.
Okay. I just couldn't get that straight in my head in all the reading that I did. So,
Congratulations for reading all that.
well, I didn't say read it all. I said all the reading I did.
Okay.
Well, it gives us the authority to use it how we feel like we would use our revenues. And so we have projects that we need to use our revenues on.
Yep. Okay. I think it makes sense. I just didn't want to, I just wanted to make sure we weren't limiting ourselves in how we could then use the funds, I guess. And if you don't feel there's any limit to that, then.
Government services generally include any service traditionally provided by a government unless the Treasury has stated otherwise, such as road building and maintenance and other infrastructure, health and other services, environmental remediation, provision of police, fire, and other public safety services.
And there was even something in there about buying fire trucks and police vehicles.
Yes, I carefully avoided that.
See, I did read that part.
Yes, it does say that, including the purchase of fire trucks and police vehicles.
Okay.
Okay, the pleasure of the board.
I move the town of Middlebury make the one-time irrevocable decision to elect the standard allowance approach for our ARPA award in the amount of $2,624,570.51 to spend on the provision of government services throughout the period of performance of the grant.
Moved and seconded. Any other comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, we need to, we have 2 other motions.
I move to authorize Town Manager Kathleen to sign the assurance of compliance with civil rights requirements.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 While I'm at it, I move to authorize Town Manager Kathleen to sign the Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund Award terms and conditions.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Next is select board member appointments to subcommittee and board representative appointments. So we discussed a little bit at our March 22nd meeting. did hear back, and Esther would like to stay on the infrastructure committee for at least another year to get to real know the run of the land. So let's see what we got for. Let's open this committee.
Can we talk briefly about how often and when these meet?
Absolutely.
Any of them?
Some of them once a month, some of them hasn't met for a year, some of them.
Great.
Tell us what you're interested in and we can help you.
It depends on your schedule, if you have a job and if they meet at 10 in the morning, then you can.
That gets tough, but if it happens once a month, I can finagle it. If it's every
So infrastructure meets
Thursday
twice
at
a
10 a.m., that's hard.
Once a month?
Don't meet
Weekly, yeah.
once a month. Sometimes infrastructure does.
Okay.
If it's a work group, sometimes they meet a little bit more often because they want to get that.
Sure. Get it done. Get the report out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I'm sure that things like personnel committee meets as needed.
Yeah.
The town school committee hasn't really met since, we used to meet more frequently when it was an ID4 board.
Okay.
And now that it's an ACSD board, I don't think we've met since that.
Interesting.
Just like TAC.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can take it back if you'd like.
Just plug in the.
Okay, so the DEI work group meets,
At this point,
About monthly.
okay. Yeah, and like I said, monthly during working hours is fine. Unless there's a bunch of those, or it's, a couple times a month or weekly. It gets to be hard to tell my new employer that I've got these huge chunks out of the middle of my day.
You have a new employer?
I do have a new employer.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I'm working for Union Mutual,
oh, I did not know that.
fire insurance company.
No more Cabot.
No more Cabot, alas. Oh, I know. Good Cabot. I'll still wear the hat. It's great
It's
cheese.
still good cheese.
Absolutely. And good people. Public health and safety.
Would you be willing to sit on that committee?
I'd love to sit on that committee.
Okay, so here's my recommendation, everybody.
Please.
I'd like to, the personnel committee, I'd like to stay on it. We got some stuff that we have to work through with retirements and everything. And so, Dan, are you still desirous of staying on the
Yes.
personnel committee?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
And Heather?
Yes.
Sure. Unless you had someone else in mind, but
Is there anybody else who wants to be on the personnel committee? So I'd like to leave the personnel committee because we'll be working through some issues. Town school committee's kind of, I think is one of those deals where we're kind of suspending it. That I don't know if we need to appoint anybody right now until we actually have something going on. It's kind of an as needed. I'd like to see the DEI team stay together because we've got good work going on and we're still in the midst of it.
And it's not a permanent committee. It's gonna dissolve at some point.
Yeah, exactly. The infrastructure committee, I'd like to leave it as is. I'd like to pull Dan off from the public health and safety because he's going to be very heavily engaged with the library.
Yeah,
And that's going to take a lot of time.
sure.
And that gives
Right.
you a committee, Andy.
Sure.
Dan could be the alternate, but you would be the primary.
Great. And this is with
Okay.
all of the chiefs. I love it.
And
All
then,
the chiefs.
and then I would recommend we leave the others committees like Dan with the DIDC, Farhad with MCTV, Lindsay on the energy, you still okay with the energy? And Dan and Farhad with the LZ 100.
I would love to be the third on college relations if,
So the way that works, you will have an opportunity.
okay.
The chair and vice chair are the
Yep.
permanent members, and then we rotate.
Okay.
And we're trying to get that restarted. COVID kind of put a thorn in that one. We haven't been able to get together. We met quarterly, pretty regularly quarterly. You know, it was all the time, and then we just haven't been able to get it together. So it's been more informal communications, but we really need to formalize that. And we'll push, especially with what we got going on with the college right now. So we'll reach out again and see if we can get it on the calendar.
Nice.
So that's my recommendation. If everybody's good with it, it gives everybody a primary role. And I think it spreads the workload. There's a couple of these committees that are going to be very busy.
Mhm.
Is everybody okay with that?
I'm fine.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. Spaced out a little bit, I guess, sorry.
So next is planning for and scheduling of the board's annual retreat. I think everybody is able to make it next Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30. And
Brian, I will
Except
not,
for
I
you.
will not be, I
Yeah.
can't be there.
I recognize that. I was gonna say, I'm talking to the ones here, and I know you're traveling, and you probably wouldn't Zoom in with us, or would you plan to Zoom in with us?
It's 5:30 to 7:30.
Yes.
Yeah, I will attempt to zoom in. Yeah, I'll try. I should be, it's in the middle of the night here, so it shouldn't be a problem as long as I don't want to sleep.
Okay.
I'd much rather be there in person. That's an important meeting.
Yeah, and there was an email that Kathleen sent us with some of the upcoming projects to talk about, and it's kind of a review of what we got going on. It's important to just make sure we kind of regather our thoughts and look at what the projects are and what's going on. And Jen will share with us what she's got coming on. But I don't see it as making the level of decisions like last year when we were deciding that housing is number one and childcare is number two, because now we need to actually act on what we've made. We didn't have the time and the focus to actually make progress last year on those. And so that's kind of, this is continuing on with that. It's the activities that support those priorities.
Okay, I'm just looking at my calendar with what we're doing here again. The specific date again is what was it?
19th.
19th? Yeah, okay. Got it. Oh, it's on my calendar. I got it. Okay.
Okay, well then.
5:30 to 7:30. Yep. I'll do my best.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts on that? We're going to meet here, Kathleen? Okay. Is dinner prepared?
Prepared,
Provided?
cooked, and prepared.
And Kathleen, can you resend whatever you sent, or tell me when you sent it?
It's in the
About that
packet.
meeting. Oh, it's in the packet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
Well, it
looking
was
for-
sent before, but it's in the packet too.
Okay, never mind.
Could Kathleen send it specifically to me? It appears that the town's website, being an unsecured website, I cannot download the anything off the website on any computer I can find anywhere here.
Wow.
So if I could get it specifically sent to me in some form that I could read, that would be great.
Okay. probably send you more than if it closer to the date than that, some of the stuff. as
That's
they're
fine.
pulling it together, okay. Next is New England Quality Services, request for renewal of salvage yard permit. Writing on behalf of New England Quality Services, owner of the salvage yard located at 4079 Route 7 in Middlebury, Patrick Griffin, project manager with Enman Kesselring Consulting Engineers, is asking the select board to approve the company's application for certificate of approved location. The state of Vermont requires salvage yards to renew their business permits every 5 years. Local municipal reapproval of the yard's location is required as part of that process. Any comments or questions on that?
I'll move to sign the application for certificate approved location, reapproving the location of the salvage yard operated by New England Quality Services Incorporated at 4079 Route 7 for a term of, can I just say it for a term of 5 years? Or do I have to say up to? For a term of 5 years.
Second.
Did you second it? Yeah, okay.
Has the town ever had any issues with this salvage yard? Great.
The ownership changed a couple of years ago, but I'm not aware of any problems that we've had with the
Fantastic.
prior owner or the current owner.
Good.
So, actually, when you look at it driving by, it's
Very tidy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Very,
a nice,
very obscured from the road. Looking
Yeah.
at the Google Earth view of things, I'm quite surprised at what's going on there.
there's a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The pig
I
bus.
think
Yeah, there is.
20 years ago,
Yeah.
The messy one out there.
I've been out there to get parts and stuff.
Sure.
before.
20,
I don't think
20
they have-
years ago, it looked like a junkyard.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
Years ago, you could go there and find parts, but I think now they recycle things pretty quickly.
I
It's
bet.
not like the parts.
I
Scrap
don't do
yards.
it anymore. I used to get a
Well,
lot
I
of
don't know.
parts
I don't
there.
know. I haven't been in a long time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I can remember years ago going and you could find parts there.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Next is approval of the purchase order for upfitting the new police cruiser. When I was reading that earlier, I thought it was uplifting. I thought we were gonna jack up our cruiser.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
scary.
My ride here. Police Chief Tom Hamley is requesting that the select board approve a purchase order to Yipes Auto and Graphics of Williston under the sole source purchases provision of the purchasing policy for the uplift of the police department's new 2022 Ford Police Interceptor Utility Hybrid at a total cost of $14,443.16. Questions?
How much of the turning a car into a cruiser is this? This isn't all the computer systems and everything.
I think it's all the lights and all the
Lights and sirens.
electronics and the insides. So that it's a cruise. It was the Interceptor is a cruiser.
Right.
But then we have to put in our lights and communications, and
It does include communications
I-
hardware and stuff.
have to see what.
I think,
I think it's communications too.
Okay.
It is communications too.
and they do move
Yeah.
materials,
No, for sure.
but
You got to fit a lot in.
You've got
so that may not be the cost of a new one.
Right.
If the old stuff fit.
transport seat, partitions.
Oh, there are. I just saw the
Out of
first page. I didn't see
printer.
the detail page of what all is going in there. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of gear.
Yeah. Printers,
Everything right down to reflective lettering.
dual cup holder. No, that's great.
Did I get a motion yet?
I'll move to award a contract for upfitting the new 2022 Ford Police Interceptor Utility Hybrid to Yipes Auto and Graphics under the sole source purchase provisions of the purchasing policy at a total cost of $14,443.16.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Check warrants.
Yeah, everything seems to be in order, so I'll move to approve total expenditures in the amount of $1,104,842.87, consisting of $889,019.24 for account payable and $215,823.63 for payroll for the period of March 23, 2022 through April 12, 2022.
Second.
Okay.
And thank you, Farhad.
Oh, you're welcome, anytime. Don't get used to it.
Did you hear that?
You still owe me. Yeah, I did hear it.
Anytime, but only once.
Anytime when he wants to.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, board member concerns. Might as well start with you, Dan.
Oh, well, thanks. I don't really have any concerns. I'm enjoying a great vacation. It's a good thing I couldn't sleep tonight. It's pretty interesting being over here during Holy Week, Ramadan, and Passover all at the same time in the city of Jerusalem. So it's pretty spectacular.
That is
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah, it's on a Rhodes Scholar program, so it's all day long, getting tours and lectures and dinners with a group of 22 people. I just saw some amazing sites and had some amazing lectures and meeting a lot of interesting people. So we'll be touring the rest of a lot of the historic sites. It's a tour about the three great religions, so it's not specifically a Christian tour, and we're gonna also get over to Jordan and to be in the Petra and around the Dead Sea. So
Wow.
it's a pretty cool trip.
Fascinating. So when
Yeah,
do
it
you
is
come back?
fascinating. I get back on the 23rd. So this is a 12-day trip over here.
Wow, that's great.
Take pictures, Dan. Love to see those pictures.
Yeah, I'm taking a bunch. I sent Farhad a picture of the mosque here in Jerusalem, which I understand is the third most important mosque in the Muslim religion.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Thinking about you.
Okay.
And
well,
apparently it's easier to get shot in the United States than it is over here, even though there's some problems right now.
Well, yeah.
just don't work at trying to prove that point.
No, I'm a duck and cover. I'm really good at that. So
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, Esther?
Yeah, so one thing I want to mention is I have a name change. So my name was Esther Thomas. I am now back to Esther Charleston. That was the name I was born with. Got married, divorced, that whole thing. So I'm back to Charleston. So when you see, my name pop up, it's Esther Charleston now. I'm so excited, so empowering.
I was watching you sign things. And I'm like, that does not look like Thomas.
Yeah, it's no longer Thomas. We let go.
All right.
And then I'm
Good
getting
for you.
married in September, so we're adding a
Oh,
new
that's
name.
exciting.
So yeah, all the name changes coming up. But I also wanted to say I'm excited to be on the infrastructure committee again. I was talking to Heather and also Lindsay, and just I felt like the first year I was just wrapping my head around all it is to run a town. And now that I've had that, I'm excited to really get engaged and involved. And under Heather's leadership, I would be honored to learn all I can soak in while she's here. So
I'm gonna get her signed up for running some meetings.
let's do it with your guidance.
Okay. Thank you. And I had noticed, but I was going to wait till we were off camera to ask. But thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I have no concerns.
Concernless.
Concernless.
He's just enjoying his new job.
Yeah, that's right.
Life's good. It was a sunny day.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
This is a beautiful day.
That was lovely.
Yeah, I decided it was so nice. I went and saw one of our stores. So, Heather.
This comes from my husband. He's driven around the traffic circle, and there's been delivery trucks parked in the traffic circle, and he's got a new trailer that when he goes around the traffic circle, goes into the traffic circle, even if he's hugging the outside of it. And he's concerned he's going to come through there and somebody's going to be parked there and he's not going to be able to get through, and people are going to be behind him. And I know delivery trucks for Two Brothers don't have a lot of options to get things to that store. So I said I would bring it up as a concern, and
We'll relay it to the chief,
okay, I'm not sure there's much we can do, but
and that does happen.
yeah,
That gets all gummed up when there's.
when there's somebody
Delivery trucks
parked there.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
how they park on the circle also.
Well,
Can
sometimes
they-
they're decent size
In big
delivery
one,
trucks.
Yeah, if you have a big truck in there.
So he hasn't gotten stuck yet, but he's come through with his regular work truck and thought, boy, it's a good thing I'm not driving the
Sure.
trailer with equipment on right now. So,
Yeah.
so I'm sharing his concern.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Farhad?
So I have no concerns like Andy. I don't have any concerns, but I want to wish everybody, it's Easter week. So happy Easter, everybody. And for the first time on the select board, I'm going to wish everybody Ramadan Kareem from the Islamic point of view. So I want to keep it diverse, right? So, happy Ramadan and happy Easter, everybody.
Thank you, Farhad.
I'm wondering when we're invited to your house for Eid, number one. And I was going to mention that Green Up Day is coming up on May 7th. And I noticed that a lot of places, including the town offices here, already have Green Up Day bags out. So feel free to pick them up at your convenience.
Sorry to interrupt. I was here earlier and I grabbed the last two.
Oh,
And I restocked.
Okay, thank
I
you.
was going to say.
I would have taken a couple more, but I got the last two.
I have more on order.
Okay, perfect.
It seems like there's more
Trash?
trash along some of the roadsides this year than normal.
My daughter and I usually pick up so we live on Shardvilla Road, and we're the first house on the left from the bridge to our driveway. And my daughter and I, and my son also, but have picked up trash, I don't know how many years in a row. And I wish I had weighed how much trash we've picked up in total, just between my driveway and the bridge every year. It's like at least 4 bags usually.
It's crazy.
It's just, it's a little frustrating, but
Just so you know, there's a mention of a lady on Front Porch Forum. There's been discussion going on, and she's going around on Quarry Road, Route 116. Then I saw her on Katy Road. She's just picking up trash.
Oh,
She has an
she's amazing.
SUV.
She's
that's-
amazing.
She just goes around, picks up trash.
Oh, yeah.
When she's walking, that's her exercise.
Yes.
Dorothy's
there's
incredible.
Is that Dorothy?
some of my neighbors,
Yes.
some
Yes.
of my neighbors do the same thing. They will pick up.
I saw a recommendation. I know there's been a little chat about chain restaurants, but that if McDonald's,
It's a rumor.
yeah, I know. If McDonald's put the license plate number on the bags and things when you got takeout, it could dissuade or have a little repercussion for their refuse showing up around town.
Does seem to be one of the most common ones. That beer
Oh
bottles.
my goodness. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And now the seltzers.
Yeah, yeah. Hard lemonade.
Mm.
Anything else, Linz?
No, that was it for me. Thanks.
Okay, well, I don't really have anything of concern, but I am excited that, I have to say, I'm excited that Middlebury College has stepped forward and once again, trying to do something to help the community. It's, of course, they have a vested interest in, they need housing for their staff and they need a vibrant community to be in, but I think their partnership with us from my perspective, is extremely strong because they have stepped forward on a number of things that we have said is important to us as a community, and they have agreed and tried to do something to help us. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. They have a developer who's partnered, and their intent is not to be. They have told me their intent is not to retain ownership, and it's to be a facilitator to helping fulfill the needs of the community. So.
It was on Channel 3 last night.
Was it on Channel 3 last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Eugene was interviewed. He was one of them.
I think
You
that
saw
the-
it, I guess.
I think the developer had previously begun a purchase and sale on that piece of land,
Fell through.
as well as everyone else. But I'm glad that it's finally closed. As much as I appreciate having a vacant property next door, I certainly would love to see it at a higher use
Yeah.
and not just falling down the barn. I think last year fell in, and yeah, it's really a shame to see good properties
They're trying
suffer
to
neglect.
they're trying to find a partner that'll do something with that.
Right. With the existing
house,
structure,
with
yeah.
the existing structure. So that's not part of the.
Which is amazing. I toured it with
Did
the
you really?
realtor. Yeah, it is. It is so neat in there.
Okay.
I think my kids have toured it, not with the realtor, but anyway.
Tell the college that the select board needs a tour of the building.
Well, if we can get our meetings off the ground, we can talk to them about that. So.
And the president of the college thanked the select board for helping with closing this property.
Oh, I don't know if I would say helping with the closing, and maybe that's an overstatement, but
Okay.
I think it's that we're supportive of it. And
Sure.
This is something, we want it to be done right.
Mhm.
I believe the college has got the funds and the desire to make sure that this is right.
Great.
They've picked a partner developer who's done other type projects to provide both low income and middle income housing. So
Nice.
it's going to take some savvy to make that happen.
Yeah.
Thanks to your extended select board concerns, I was able to retrieve an email from Chief Hanley that reports that since the purchase order was submitted, the price for the upfit has increased 6%, and it is now $15,328.95. So if
Can we have a friendly amendment to
15,320.
95.
Do we know who made the motion?
I think Andy made the motion.
I might have. I'll consider that
I
a
think
friendly
I might
amendment.
have, did I second it?
I think so.
I think so.
I had Farhad and Lindsay on the PO.
Oh, really? We were so wrong.
And I could have been totally wrong on that too, but totally let that shot.
Fitting of the new police cruiser?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't make the motion. So what's the new amount you want me to amend that?
$15,328.95.
95. Okay, so should I just do a new motion? Okay, so I'll move to award a contract for upfitting the new 2022 Ford Police Interceptor Utility Hybrid to Yipes Auto and Graphics under the sole source purchases provision of the purchasing policy at a total cost of $15,328.95.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 No more amendments, Kathleen.
All right. I think that we have no executive session, right?
Wow.
No. Okay, I'd entertain a
I'm
motion for
intrigued for
adjournment.
what this
I
executive
move.
session does finally happen.
That was a move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Dan, thank you for joining us. That's, you really stepping up to the plate, big to doing it at this time of night.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing I couldn't sleep, which helped out too, but,
Yeah.
no, I'm trying to keep my record going.
Okay, well,
When
enjoy.
I ran for election, I got something.
Okay, thanks, everybody.